What's up, dudes? So, somebody might have the opportunity to see kind of a colleague do their magic, however that means to you. So, I'm going to just shuffle this deck while I'm talking to you. So, somebody may see somebody else do tarot cards. Now, let's remember, tarot cards, there's no right way or wrong way to do tarot cards. So, tarot cards, there's two ways to use tarot cards, but there's no right way or wrong way to do tarot cards. So what do I mean by that? I mean, there are people that have, now this is one of my first tarot card decks I got. There are people who say, I want to learn how to read tarot cards. And they learn how to play the game of tarot. And that is really hard to do because look at that's a lot of cards. And you need to know, okay, so right on the bottom, the Knight of Swords. You need to know the meaning of every card. Upward and upside down. So that's called upright and reversed. Right here, the lesson of the Knight of Swords. And you also have to remember that every card comes with a lesson too. It's not just for the reader to rattle off their knowledge of what they memorized this card to mean. So the lesson of the Knight of Swords is, the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the deck. So if you look at his horse is usually always in a big gallop. He's always running. So, and he always has his sword out. And this Knight of Swords will use that sword to cut, poke, rip, get rid of whatever is in the way, keeping this energy from going forward and changing quickly. So Knight of Swords can also come with anger, finding out something, a big change, and all of a sudden now imagine, the Emperor sent the Knight of Swords, the fastest knight with a sword to cut everything out of the way, to get this going forward. This is the fastest knight. This should have gone super fast, but it's at a fucking standstill. Somebody didn't get the truth. So this is showing upright. All right? So we may have a shot, because the opposite of the Knight of Swords is the Knight of Pentacles. Let me see if I can find the Knight of Pentacles in here. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight of the deck. He is usually seen in full armor, sitting on a horse. Okay, I want to talk about this one. In full armor, sitting on a horse, and his armor visor thing is usually down, and he's peeking through. And his horse is so slow that it's standing still in some kind of meadow, and there's grass growing up all around it. And that horse hasn't been going anywhere. Here it is. Look at, I went through all these cards, and here it finally is. The Knight of Pentacles. His horse isn't going anywhere. Look at it. It's been there for so long, just watching, observing, obsessing. This is a shy person. But they're smitten. I see bunny. This person might have a temper. Because when I talk to my dog, there's a lot of bunnies in the city I live in, Richfield. And when my dog sees a bunny, he gets into like a hunter pointer dog thing. And then I tell my dog, we watch the bunnies, we don't kill the bunnies. This person may have a lot of love valor. So the reason why they are so fucking still is because the Knight of Pentacles energy has to go through all the pros and cons of everything. They kind of mind fuck themselves a little bit. They kind of have to say, what if I do this? What if I don't do that? What if I do this? What if I don't do that? They have to go through all the lists, all the things, until they invest. And the reason why they do that is, look at that great big pentacle. They do have something to invest. But once this person does it, they're a ride or die person. So they take a long time to do it. They observe quietly. And then when they come forward, they're a ride or die type of a person. So this is what Spirit is showing. The lessons that Spirit wants to show. The next lesson, all right, is the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords. The worst feeling in the tarot card besides devil energy. Heartbreak, betrayal, and delay. That's what the swords stand for. Heartbreak, betrayal, and delay. So sometimes when the Three of Swords card comes out, it's important for the person that the card is showing to. So it will be showing it one way to the reader and the other way to the person. If you ever see the Three of Swords, because this is a heavy card. This is a broken heart. Heartbreak, betrayal, and delay. This particular one for me is, it's been far too long being in this heartbreak, betrayal, and delay with no relief. Other Three of Swords cards, a more traditional tarot, will have one sword here, and one sword here. So they're all three coming down this way. So if you look at it that way, say there was two more swords going up this way and not these here. If the card is presented to you with the swords up like this, that means you're in heartbreak. This is how I read the cards. But if the card is upside down, or the person observing the card sees it upside down, now imagine there's two more swords here. That means that Spirit made it so the swords can fall out of the heart and you can finally heal. You're at the end of the heartbreak, betrayal, and delay. You have learned what you needed to learn by that, and now the swords have slid out of the heart. And then that's usually followed up with the Four of Swords. So if you see the Three of Swords, by the Four of Swords, the message is, it's time for healing energy now. That's when you get a truth about heartbreak, betrayal, and delay. You get an Ace of Swords, you get a truth about it. And now you start healing. All right. So that's the message about the Three and Four of Swords. And then the final message that Spirit wants to talk about the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, being stuck. Stuck. So you can tell somebody, yep, Spirit is saying, showing you a card that says you're stuck. Can't go forward, you're stuck. See her? She's stuck in there. So what I would say to another reader is, excellent job passing forward that message, because that's exactly what the card means. But go even bigger for your client. Teach them the lesson of the Eight of Swords. So the lesson is, the Eight of Swords is almost a self-imposed prison. So this woman right here, she got a chain around her wrist, a blindfold on her eyes, and a ring of swords around her. So if she even tries to get up and get out of that, she's going to get cut by some swords. So she's just stuck there. But if you look really, really closely, those chains are just looped around her wrist. They're not really locked on or tied on. It's just a chain looped around her wrist. And she's holding her own wrists up. So all this woman needs to do is have that aha moment where she puts her arms down and then the chain slides off her wrist. Then she pushes up her blindfold and then she tiptoes out between the swords. But she has to have the aha moment that she can save herself. All she has to do is put her wrists down. And that's the lesson of being stuck in the Eight of Swords. It's where you can mindfuck yourself. You can be in a self-imposed prison. The Eight of Swords can be imposter syndrome. All right, so there's the message. Now, when I picked up this deck, right when I got started, there weren't, and it was up in here, I was looking for something with the most standard kind of imagery. And I pulled this out, and then when I went to do it, I realized there was 3 cards just at the bottom of this deck while I had it in there. And here's what they are. The Dragon's Duel, Inner Conflict, Morality, Conscious Choice, and the number 23. The Well Watcher, Wisdom, Power of the Divine. Somebody may have a daughter. Somebody may have a psychic kid, a corn silk kid. Somebody may have had very fair hair growing up as a kid. The Eyes of Beauty, Positive Expectations and Clarity. All right, and then one last message is I'm going to shuffle it real quick. I got the past life deck out. So there's a Six of Cups relationship coming together. This is the friendship that you have in every lifetime. All right, and then I'm looking for my big stack of signs. Let me see. What is the message from the past life? Native American. All right. Let's hear 2 more. The TP might mean something. Farm. And 1 more. Final message from the past life. Pioneers might mean something. Atlantis. All right. Now I'm looking for my big stack of signs. Here they are. Who's this message for? Who's this message for? What energy is this message for? Who's this message for? Grounding Taurus and Capricorn energy. Earth energy. So I feel like something's going to change really, really quickly. That Knight of Pentacles who kept watching the ride or die person has made up their mind. And now everything is going to change really fast. All right, there's your message. Now make sure to check the comments section for your Starseed transmissions. I am kind of behind on Starseed transmissions, so I'll be working on them. If you don't see them, they'll be there shortly. All right, please click a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe if you want to keep getting messages.